Hello, hello. My name is Jones, and today we are looking at community psychiatry. This is part 3B of our lesson. In part 3B, we are looking at the nurse's role in tertiary prevention. Okay, in part 3A, we looked at levels of intervention in mental health. So, in discussion of part 3A, we established that there are two main levels of intervention in mental health. So, there is health promotion and there is prevention. At community level, prevention is looked at as primary, secondary, and tertiary. So, we ended by looking at tertiary prevention in part 3A. So now, as an extension to part 3A, we are now looking at the nurse's role in tertiary prevention. So if you have not listened to part A, you need to listen to part A and also other parts for community psychiatry. That is the only way you understand and appreciate community psychiatry lessons that we are trying to put across right now. So nursing in tertiary prevention focuses on clients so that they enable them learn or relearn socially appropriate behaviors so that they may be able to achieve a satisfying role within the community. Okay, so the nurses in tertiary, they will teach the patients new skills, or they will help patient relearn other socially appropriate behaviors so that they can achieve a satisfying, or they can adapt, with the new changes or the new challenges that might have come because of the illness. So, when you're looking at nurses' role in tertiary prevention, you're looking at the teaching of the clients about daily skills that they need. We are looking at the encouraging of clients to be able to live independently. This is to avoid dependency. So despite them having a challenge, a complication that may come, we need to teach our patients so that they develop other abilities, within themselves, so that they avoid being dependent on others, which can be stressful on its own. So this is one of the nurse's role in tertiary prevention. In tertiary prevention, the nurse can also teach about assertive skills to the clients, so that the patient can have more independence. The patient at tertiary level should also be taught about anger management techniques and also stress reduction techniques. This is to avoid the patient having a relapse. Other role that is played by the nurse at tertiary level is that of referring clients to various aftercare services after the patient has been discharged. In Zambia, we have the Challenge Aftercare Home, Matelo Aftercare Home. Otherwise, we can have a lot spread around the country. So the nurse can refer these clients to these aftercare services that are available. The other role of the nurse, apart from this networking activity that the nurse can play in tertiary prevention, is giving patients information about support groups, that are there, and also the treatment programs that they can attend so that they can fully recover. So the roles of the nurse in tertiary prevention is teaching of the clients, that is assertive skills, anger management, stress management, and that of referring patients to different networks that can help, like aftercare homes and also social groups that are there. We can also look at monitoring of effectiveness of aftercare services as one of the roles of a nurse in tertiary care, considering that we need to look at the environment in which this aftercare home is, the type of rehabilitation that is taking place, okay, to promote recovery, okay, and also look at social occupational activities that the patient can be engaged in so that they can be integrated within the community. So the nurse may monitor the effectiveness of all these aftercare services. Okay, so now talking about aftercare services, we also need to have a deeper understanding of necessarily what these aftercare homes and services necessarily do. So upon discharge, persons recovering from mental illness, they may need continuing care to prevent relapse and other complications that may occur. So such continuing care within the aftercare homes is going to help ensure that the patients continue to receive the support that they need, even when they are not in the hospital, but they are in these aftercare homes. Okay, so when you are looking at aftercare services, it includes regular reviews at outpatients department. So these are some of the regular review to outpatient is one of the service to do with aftercare services. Then the other services that we can look at that have to do with aftercare home is home visit, especially if the client is unable to come to outpatient, so you may do some home visit. So it's part of the aftercare services. Okay, then the other aftercare services that we can also look at are centers that help with occupational and social skills. Okay, that can help clients to be reintegrated. Okay, so aftercare structure routine may include relapse prevention. So when you have an aftercare home, it is going to prevent a relapse from occurring as patients continue to receive health services for a sustained period of time. In aftercare home, patients can be there for 2 to 4 months. Okay, then aftercare home structure routine plan includes also active participation in continuing treatment. Patients can be taught that they have to take drugs or they have to adhere to drug taking so that they do not relapse or they do not start having the attacks that they sometimes have to do with mental illness. The other aftercare structured plan include belonging to a self-help group. So there are self-help groups that are out there helping people with similar diseases and those with who have suffered from those diseases sharing experience. Then other aftercare plan activities include continuing access to original professional treatment center that the client needs. So reminding patients to attend the outpatient department and restocking their drugs. Okay, so let us explore why aftercare is necessary. Okay, from the few points that we have mentioned, you can see the impact, but is it really necessary to have aftercare homes or places? So when you have aftercare home or services, is that it may lead to reduced substance abuse, okay, as patients will continuously undergo abstinence as they are admitted in this aftercare home, and as they have been cancelled. To eliminate substance abuse is very difficult. So aftercare homes will ensure that even when the person has been reintegrated within the community, they are still following that which they have been taught. Aftercare home also helps to reorient the patient to daily routine activities that might be helpful for them to adapt. Then aftercare home are also necessary because it will help them to reduce the temptation of going back to their old ways, and also it will help them to learn more about stress reduction activities that may bring about a relapse. Aftercare homes are necessary because they also prevent forward-thinking patterns of relying, if let's say, on drugs, if that person used to rely on drug or substance abuse as one of the reasons that might have led to the mental illness. Okay, so it will help an individual, also have an encounter with other people that have faced similar challenges, and also help them learn how they are adapting. Okay, so aftercare homes, if we are to look at them in terms of structure, it is just a hostel where homeless, mental ill people are taken upon discharge. So in Zambia, we have some aftercare home where people are taken care of after they have been discharged from a mental health center. Okay, so aftercare homes can come in form of halfway houses or villages. It can come as group living homes or group homes. They can also come in form of self-help groups. So these are aftercare homes or structures that may give aftercare services. Okay, so halfway houses or homes, or villages, whatever you might call them, are communal living situations that provide an ordered way of doing things or routines, and also support for those who are recovering from addiction. So we have halfway home or houses that are going to do this. So this is for all those who are lacking necessarily family and family support, and who cannot necessarily go back and live in their homes. Okay, so a halfway house, as one of the examples of aftercare home, is that it is located within the community, so that the recovering patient can easily attend school, or they can even go for work, whilst they are undergoing rehabilitation. Each evening when the patient, let's say, knocks off from work, if the patient works, or knocks off from school, they will return to this aftercare home. Okay, so the stay at these places is in the range of 1 to 4 months, to see if at all they have started abstaining from drugs or that which necessarily brought them to the aftercare home or aftercare house. In patients who have to attend outpatient treatment, it is especially ideal that they escorted for the view and seen to see if at all they are recovering or showing signs of resilience. Okay, so apart from halfway houses, as example of aftercare homes, we also have group homes. Okay, so the group homes, this is group living with a large group of people, or people from same hospital, like people living in the hospital unit, such as the Chainama Hospital. So There are group homes for people with mental illnesses where they can necessarily stay to avoid stigma, discrimination, and exploitation that may suffer from the community. So we have group homes. Then we have Afro-village system, which consists of group of villagers or villages where patients can access psychiatric services on a community outreach basis. So that is necessarily the Afro-village system. Okay, the other things that one can necessarily benefit from aftercare service has to do with self-help groups. Self-help groups are organized and led by patients or ex-patients who have learned ways of overcoming or adjusting to their difficulties. The other group members benefit from this experience, from the opportunities necessarily that they have to talk about their own problem and express their feelings for mutual support. It's important that those who lead such groups have appropriate training and the support so that they can cope with the group process. Okay, for the group process that may develop. Other groups have professional advisors. When you're talking about self groups, they have professional advisors, okay, like those that can advise on Alcohol Anonymous, those that can advise on weight, so we have Weight Watchers. And then we also have groups for people with chronic conditions, and also groups of people facing special problems such as parents with handicapped child. Okay, so there you have it. We were looking at nurses' role in tertiary prevention. Some of the main roles of a nurse in tertiary prevention of mental illness is teaching clients about daily living skills, okay, encouraging independence, okay, through social skills training. They can teach clients about assertiveness, anger management, stress management, and also as clinicians they can help refer clients to various health services, and also aftercare homes such as we have Chawama Old People's Home, support groups, and the likes. You see that they help to bridge in the gap or to fill in the gap on the challenges that these people would face if they were just to be sent in the community. So aftercare homes can help where such conditions or such situations arise. Okay, so after that we looked at why it is necessary to have aftercare home. Then the aftercare homes, we gave some examples that we have in Zambia, and then we went on to look at other institutions that offer, or other institutional structures that may offer after home care. So we have halfway houses or halfway villages. We have group living or group homes. We have Afro-village system, and we have self-help groups. So when you talk about all these, it's important to appreciate what necessarily self-help group can necessarily do. And we said self-help groups are recognized and led by patient or ex-patient who have managed ways of overcoming or adjusting their difficulties. Then when we say Afro-village system, we said it consists of group of villages where patients can access psychiatry services on a community outreach basis. Then group living or group homes, we said groups that are living in with a large group of people or living in the hospital unit such as the Chainama. So this has been our lesson on the role of a nurse in tertiary prevention. So from me, I'm saying thank you and keep studying.